In this episode, we're talking about how to make a struggling business more profitable with consulting. If your business isn't succeeding, it's not because you're missing some secret tactic, it's because there's a real problem. And in this episode, you're going to learn how you can find what that problem is. I'll walk you through a real diagnosis process that I use to help businesses really turn things around. But a fair warning, the solution might not be what you expect. In fact, hiring a consultant might be the wrong option for you right now. Depending on your timing or your mindset or your business model, let's just take a look at what the real problem is and what it's going to take to fix it. Let's dive right in. So the first thing that you want to look at is what is the obvious problem? And I look at things linearly, all right? So if there's a step-by-step process, if you analyze every single step, you'll find where the bottleneck is. Where do things drop off? So you need to look at where are the leads coming from, and when you capture a lead, what do you do with those leads? What happens next? How are those leads being nurtured? And are there consistent leads coming in? Do you have multiple sources of those leads? Is there anything you can do to increase that? What are the quality of the leads that are coming in? For example, are you doing any active outreach, or do you have any inbound marketing, or are you just waiting around for referrals? Then what's your follow-up like? How do you follow up with these leads? How do you communicate with them? How do you stay top of mind? Are you doing anything to invite them to progress further? That could be inviting them to learn more. It could be inviting them to have a conversation with you. Now, how do you make a sale? Do you have a landing page or a sales page and you're just wanting to send more people to, and if enough people come, then you'll have enough revenue? Or do you actually have conversations with people? Now, here's something interesting. There are so many businesses that are 100% dependent upon their website for sales. If they were to start having conversations with people, I predict that they would 50 times their income, meaning the revenue they have now could be multiplied by 50 just by having conversations with people. If you're a new business owner, I would say do not rely on your website for sales and rely 100% on having conversations with real people. Now, going back to this linear thing that we're looking at, what is your price point? What is your offer? What are your margins? What are your deliverables? And for those of you that do have sales conversations, how do they go? What's the end result? How many of those leads or how many of those conversations turn into clients? If you just look at the whole system or the whole lineup, from cold lead to customer, and even beyond that, happy customer that gives you referrals, ask yourself the hard questions all along the way. Now, the role of a consultant is to help you take a look at all of these things and ask some of those hard questions. And they're going to be able to look at things with fresh eyes and see things that you don't see. Now, in order to have success in your business with the help of a consultant, these first steps are critical. There are a lot of coaches or consultants that as soon as they begin, they jump right into their framework or their process. And if they haven't done any of the analysis or any of the diagnosing and they're just going to do a framework, it's very likely that it's going to fail. That's not consulting, that's just guessing. Now, let's look at things from another angle. Do you really own a business? Or do you just have expertise? Expertise is a great starting point that you can turn into a business, but do you have a business yet, or do you just have expertise? There are many people that have been working a job and have years and years of experience, and they've developed a lot of expertise, and now they're ready to go out on their own. And they think that if they have a video that goes viral, everyone will see them for their expertise, and the rest will be history. But I'm here to tell you that actually never happens. I guess there's one exception. The one exception is if you want to be a YouTuber and you can somehow create such entertaining content or have a video go viral. We see rare examples of that. I mean, we see several of them on YouTube that do that, but for every one person that succeeds with that, there's at least 1,000 people that fail and never succeed at it. So if you like those odds, go for it. And I'm not discouraging you from this path of entrepreneurship, but I'm letting you know that entrepreneurship is really hard. You have to stay committed. You've got to have this level of stick-to-itness. I've had my business for 16 years. And for 6 years prior to that, I was an independent contractor learning all the ins and outs of sales and systems. And for 6 years prior to that, I was an independent contractor learning all the ins and outs of business strategy, of systems, of sales, marketing, customer care. So then I started this business 16 years ago. And guess what? It took 9.5 years before the financial stress left, where I actually got to a point where I had money in the bank. Now, I had months where I'd bring in $10,000 or $20,000 in a single month, but then if I didn't make any revenue the next month or the month after that, it all leveled out and I was just paycheck to paycheck. During that time, I had hired other people, but I was still wearing a ton of hats. I was very stressed and I had a lot to learn. But I do have a lot of stick-to-itness. I'm doing this for a purpose. If you're thinking of starting a business, especially in coaching and consulting, my aim is to help you be successful. And so this reality check isn't meant to discourage you, but really help you decide, do I want to be a business owner or can I work for someone else's company and just do the type of work that I love to do? So I said that expertise is step one in, then hopefully you can turn that into a coaching or consulting business. So what are the next steps? Step one is you have expertise. You've gone from point A to point B. Okay, whatever that is, you've been able to figure it out so you know. The next step is, can you help somebody else get from point A to point B? That's a whole different skill set, and I would say try it out. In fact, you might want to try it out at first for free. Don't charge somebody, but just do everything that you can to help somebody else achieve the same thing that you've done. Now, why would I recommend that you do it for free? Because how are you going to sell it without a track record? If you don't have a case study or testimonial of a client, and you don't know if you can help somebody else get there. So let me tell you a real story, okay? So what I do is I help people build massive lead generation systems on YouTube, Google, and ChatGPT. I figured this out about 12 years ago. I was offering a different service in my company, but I had figured out this system that worked, and I had proved it in very small scale. I had proved it with individual YouTube episodes. And in my mind, I could see the results. I mean, I have this results-focused brain, and so I knew, like, oh wow, if we just do all of these things, I knew where it would get. Okay, I had the expertise, I had the belief, but I didn't have the track record of success. I had never helped myself or helped anyone else on that big of a scale. And so I reached out to 2 potential clients, told them, I'm gonna partner with you. I'm not gonna charge you for my services. This is where I believe we can go and we can share in that future profit. It took a couple of years to get to the point where it was super profitable, but boy, was it successful. Way bigger than I ever thought it could be. And what that did for me is other businesses looked at the results that I got for these first 2 businesses and their YouTube channels, and I didn't have to do any selling at all. They just said, I want you to do for me what you did for them. Your real value as a coach or consultant is helping other people walk that path and helping them achieve that result. Now, because I've referenced it a lot, I teach a strategy called the LEAF strategy. This strategy really helps coaches and consultants be seen as the go-to authority in their space. You'll have your videos ranking at the top of Google, ChatGPT, and of course on YouTube. And I'd love to teach you the whole system. Now, it takes me about an hour to teach you how it works, but you'll come away knowing whether this is a fit for you or not and knowing exactly how to get those results. So you're going to turn your expertise into thought leadership. So I want to invite you to a webinar. It's called The Leaf Strategy. Go to theleafstrategy.com. I'll see you there.